Let me tell you the harsh truth most men never face. It's not money, status, or looks that kill your respect. It's a weakness, and weakness doesn't just cost you relationships, it destroys your spirit from the inside out. Most men mistake craving for connection. They confuse the restless ache for validation with the deeper force of love. They believe that giving more attention, more approval, more surrender will create intimacy. But every time they do this, they hand away their dignity. What is the modern game if not herd logic? A competition of men, each trying to be safer, softer, more agreeable than the next, until they erase every trace of fire, command, and presence. Then they wonder why they feel unseen. To understand this, strength is not what women despise. They despise the absence of it. They don't leave because you were too bold. They leave because you were too predictable. Weakness isn't about money, height, or status. Weakness is surrendering your backbone. It's the man who cannot stand alone. The man who fears rejection more than he fears wasting his own life. A philosopher once said, "The greatest rewards come from living with courage, not safety." Apply that here, and you'll see why your relationships collapse. You've been waiting for permission instead of leading with conviction. Look at your patterns. When someone withdraws, do you panic? When you're tested, do you crumble? When you're disrespected, do you justify it instead of correcting it? That trembling, that hesitation, that need for constant reassurance, that is your weakness, and it isn't harmless. It drains your energy, breaks your focus, and poisons your confidence. Weakness is not just emotional, it is the slow death of the masculine spirit. And the cure is not comfort, it is confrontation with truth. Most men are not truly respected. Why? Because they never respected themselves. They folded at the first sign of pressure. They begged for sympathy. They surrendered their fire just to avoid conflict. And what was the result? Quiet contempt. Contempt that grows until no one can take them seriously. They thought kindness would earn loyalty. It brought only boredom. Here's the first hammer strike. Weakness begins when you let another person's opinion carry more weight than your own conviction. When disapproval breaks you, when silence controls you, when fear of loss makes you betray your own standards. Your path is yours. If someone respects it, they stay. If they don't, they leave. But you never break yourself for approval. And here's the reversal. Strength doesn't push people away. The opposite is true. Real strength draws them in, but not strength in the cartoonish sense, not shouting, posturing, or controlling. Strength is calmness. It's the man who needs nothing, who can walk alone if he must, who doesn't tremble in solitude, who carries a flame inside him no one else can extinguish. That man is magnetic, not because he tries, because he lives, because he moves with direction, because he chooses without hesitation, and everyone feels it. This man is dangerous because he is free. Think about it. How many times have you swallowed your truth just to avoid tension? How many times have you laughed off disrespect? How many times have you betrayed your values just to keep someone close? Each moment carved a wound into your self-respect, and those wounds pile up until your identity is built on hesitation. That is why respect disappears, not suddenly, but gradually, as your spine dissolves into dust. No one can admire a man who bends at every push. They may use him, they may tolerate him, but they cannot respect him. And once respect dies, connection follows. This is why tests come, not out of cruelty, but instinct. Every test asks, can you hold? Will you remain solid when pushed? Most men fold. The rare man does not. He doesn't argue or whine, he simply holds. And in that holding, people feel something deeper than comfort. They feel strength wrapped in calmness, fire wrapped in discipline. That is unforgettable. Weakness shows in the smallest things, how fast you reply, how easily you cancel your priorities, how you excuse disrespect instead of addressing it. Every one of these teaches others that you will betray yourself for their convenience. And once that lesson is learned, respect is gone. So here's the creed. Never betray yourself for the hope of being kept. If you lose someone by being true, you lost nothing. If you keep them by being false, you've already lost everything. No one truly wants endless compliance. No one is moved by a man who rearranges his soul just to please. They want a man who can stand, who can say no and mean it, who doesn't tremble when faced with distance. That man awakens something ancient in others, the recognition of power balanced with restraint, danger balanced with calmness. That man is rare, and rare men are unforgettable. So ask yourself, how many silences have you endured that burned in your chest? How many apologies have you made just to avoid tension? How many times have you betrayed your own standards just to keep the peace? These are not harmless moments. They are slow poison. They erode you until you no longer recognize yourself. And here is the paradox. The less you need approval, the more respect you command. The more you insist on your path, the more others invest in it. The more indifferent you are to storms, the more others seek your calm. Weak men think loyalty is earned through submission. Strong men know loyalty is given to those who cannot be moved. Strength doesn't come from tricks or tactics. It comes from transformation, from living with purpose, choosing with conviction, standing firm in truth. And when you stop seeking approval, something extraordinary happens. Approval starts to seek you, not because you manipulated, but because strength is irresistible. It makes others restless. It makes them wonder. It makes them invest, because for the first time, they realized they could lose you, and that changes everything. So here's the shift. Stop acting like validation is oxygen. You lived before it. You will live after it. Hold that truth. Live it. Watch weakness evaporate. Because the man who can stand alone is the only man others will truly follow. And here is the final truth. When you stop needing, others start needing you. When you stop chasing, you begin attracting. When you stop betraying yourself for connection, you finally taste connection that is real. Weakness is not permanent, but only if you decide it won't be.